there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of secrecy, there's a lot of underhand dealings that happen in coffee, because people would never want a light shining on the process through which coffee leaves the farmer and gets to the consumer. And those people are mainly Western companies. I'd say probably 80 to 90% of them are companies that are either headquartered in Europe, and some, very few, are headquartered here in the US. But most of them are companies that are headquartered in Europe. It means a lot, or it says a lot, that you have a company or a country like Germany that is one of the leading exporters of coffee, yet they don't grow not one coffee bush. There's nowhere in Germany where you'll go and find a coffee farm, but they're one of the leading exporters. So what do? They basically just broker what comes over to places like the United States and to United States consumers. And in today's age, in the trade environment, in the way logistics happens, in the way communication happens, that's not necessary. Kenyan farmers, or even East African coffee farmers, or African, they don't need people in Europe to do their bidding or brokering their coffee for them. They have everything it takes. They have their education, they have the knowledge, they have, the wherewithal to be able to say, this is my coffee, and this is what I put into it, and I think this is what I should get out of it. But we're relegated to that part of the world purposefully, sometimes even through laws that are enacted in our own countries, sometimes through trade agreements where we're not allowed to sell our coffee to whomever we want to sell it to at whatever price we want to sell it to. So when you look at this whole structure, and yes, we're also to blame for some of this. That is, African governments are also to blame for some of this. But I think the time has come where we're getting to a stage where we have consumers, especially this millennial demographic, that really cares about ethics. And Western companies are not gonna be able to, hoodwink them. So what I'm trying to say is, even those people in the villages, even those poor third and fourth and fifth generation people that are coming into coffee production reluctantly in places like Kenya, now they have a voice. Now they can be able to take pictures, make a video with their cell phones and put it out there for the world to see what really happens. So these companies that are so good and have million or multi-million dollar PR people and departments just putting information out there to be able to put this facade of how ethical they are or how good they are, those days are coming to an end. And they're coming to an end really, really, really fast. Everybody who comes into coffee, I think, everybody but producers, come into coffee by choice, either because they love a latte or an espresso, whatever it is, whether they're entrepreneurs or coffee shop owners, whatever it is, they see a need in their community, they fall in love with how diverse coffee is, whatever it is, if you're a barista or a roaster, you come into coffee by choice. The only people who are born into it are farmers, producers, and to some extent, you're born into that, just like farmers here are generational, they're born into it and it's in your blood and that's what you do. So some of them don't know anything else. Even when it gets as bad as it does, they don't know how to walk away because they don't know anything else. So we have to figure out a way of doing right and standing by them. And I think with Zabuni, what we're trying to do is basically that. Provide that platform, provide that mechanism through which a farmer who only has 1 or 2 acres of coffee, if they're producing a quality that is fairly good and we have consumers here or roasters here that are willing to buy that coffee, that farmer can bring that coffee here, or we can be able to help that or facilitate that process, and that coffee is sold in the farmer's name, not an importer's name, not a Western company's name, that farmer's name, whatever that farmer's name is. And they get that recognition, and they get compensated for their hard work. What am I saying? I'm just saying that I think the time has come. I think people are realizing that a lot of history, a lot of what we've been told, a lot of things we read in books or see in movies, they're not accurate depictions of what has happened. And so we've been going forward with these notions of what things are, or how things are, or what places are. And, you know, there's still people who think Africa is just a jungle, you know, that Africa is their great-grandmother's Africa. And it's not. You know, we're as modern as any Western, you know, economy or culture is. So we still have a ways to go. We still have systems and structures that we need to develop. But one of the ways that I do believe strongly that we will be able to bridge this gap in poverty is not by aid, it's through trade. And if a country like Kenya produces such an exceptional product, what are we even doing? Not making it, you know, front and center of saying, look at what we're capable of producing. Look at what we're capable of bringing to the table to trade with you. So if you have any questions, you know, just ask me. I'll gladly share them, or share my thoughts or opinions with you. And, you know, until next time, God bless.